So do you think an individual can make a difference to the poorest in the world, or?
I think that individuals, all people, can make a difference in a personal way in their daily interactions with other people, which ultimately, if you think about it in a grand scheme, yes, then you can inspire one person that inspires another person. Because we're all connected, it could eventually lead to a movement of some kind, but it's very difficult, I think, for any one individual to feel like their actions have any immediate repercussions, especially now where governments and corporations are just so big and so much in control of things that for people, I think, in my generation and my background, it's hard for us to see results. And young people are always impatient. We want to see results quickly.
Yeah.
So it's hard, I think, to keep momentum going when there are no immediate results. And if anything, sometimes there are a lot of setbacks to any progress that we've tried to make. I think an individual, for example, cannot take on a corporation.
Right.
Okay? I think that an individual can help build a grassroots movement, or even if they want to do something so extreme. You know, for most people, to be honest, I mean, they have their daily lives. They do whatever they do. They do their jobs. They have their family, their friends. And then if they have any sort of activism that they do in their life, for most people, it's quite small, whether it's they donate $10 a month or something to a cause. So I think that for most people, it's important if they feel that there's something they can do. But generally speaking, again, I don't think that, in my opinion, people feel very empowered at this point.
Do you think that we need NGOs to support development activities in the world?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I don't think that, like I said before about governments, well, for so many governments, I feel they really don't even have much power anymore, in my opinion, compared to corporations. I feel like corporations really set the agenda for most governments, at least in America. You know, recently there was this ruling whereby corporations in America are basically entitled to give as much money as they want to any specific political cause because of the fact that corporations have been deemed to be entities like people. Mm-hmm. And there was all this hullabaloo in the media, what does this mean? And ultimately a lot of articles said, well, it doesn't mean anything because they've already run the show anyway. So this, I mean, yes, on paper it means something, but in practice they already run the show. So unfortunately I feel a lot of governments, since they are at the mercy of corporations, then doing social good is not the point of a corporation. A corporation exists for its stakeholders to make money, to make profit. So that's where NGOs come in. NGOs are able to, because they're supposedly, well, it's interesting, you know, they call them non-governmental and they call them non-profit. Right. You know, and they're interchangeable.
Really like that? I mean,
but of course, you know, from a financial standpoint, while there is profit, yes, right, of course there's profit. That's how you are able to use money. Right. But the profit is supposed to be rechanneled into the organization and into the goals of the organization. Mm-hmm. And back to the question, I feel that yes, NGOs are a pivotal, very, very important aspect of any social change in the world. There's a lot of NGOs out there. It was very interesting in the wake of the Haiti earthquake. A lot of Americans were very compelled to donate money, and then it became this whole issue. Well, who do I donate to? Who do I donate to? How do I know that who should I know that my dollar is being maximized? And then there was this negative attention towards the NGO that was started by Wyclef Jean, the musician, okay, saying that, oh, his organization, there's some corruption or the money isn't really getting to the people. So you run into a situation where NGOs are fighting to also make sure that they're legitimate, you know, which is difficult because how do you know that your dollar is being actually spent towards development or something versus, say, overhead or running a PR campaign or something else that at the end of the day you're like, well, but the money is supposed to go towards the people on the ground that I'm actually trying to help.
Right, so you feel that when you're donating your money, you're like scared that the money is not going to go to the people?
A lot of the times, unfortunately, there have been news where it comes out that, you know, certain NGOs are not spending their money appropriately, that certain board members of an NGO are being paid a certain amount of money, or if they're not being paid a certain amount of money, they're given a certain perks or basically they're benefiting from their position in the NGO. I think generally there are success stories, but I think that more than anything people just need to educate themselves, and the media needs to educate people on what to do when they decide that they want to donate money. How do they find the resources to investigate their choice of NGO to make sure that, oh, this is a legitimate NGO, that they do good work. And it's very simple, you know, you just find out basic facts. You find out for every dollar what percent goes to overhead, what percent goes to actual development. That is a very clear, obvious indicator of what is their priority, you know, whether they're paying for a super fancy office somewhere or whether they're spending most of their money on what their goals are.